I've had this 27-inch iMac for a couple months now, and I figured I would finally do a review on it. It's probably not going to be very good because I've never done one before, but I figured I'd give it a shot. So we'll go ahead and start with the startup of it, I guess. Does not take very long at all. This is the quad-core 3.4 gigahertz model with the 4 gigs of RAM and single gig graphics card. There wasn't anything else done to it. Terabyte hard drive, not solid state or anything. And there we are. Like I said, it doesn't take long at all. And hold on. Plug my Ethernet jack back in. I choose to run Ethernet jack or wired internet on it because the Wi-Fi works very well, but it can't quite keep up with the speed of our internet. As you can see, I don't know what the computer's rated to go to, but I do know that it will go up to at least 42. This is just the internet speed test that I've always used. So it has no troubles maxing out your internet or using it to its full capabilities. Another thing, it runs extremely fast. Might I add that I upgraded from this thing, which can't really do anything at all, but as that could barely run any of the CS4 products from Adobe, I can open. Now these are very intensive programs. It won't seem very fast, but I can assure you that it's pretty incredible that this can open. That's After Effects, Sound Booth, Premiere, Photoshop, iMovie, iPhoto, iTunes, and the internet's already open. So we'll see how long it takes here. It opens them all at once, so it'll generally bring them all up at the same time. Like I said, everybody, opens iMovie and iPhoto and iTunes. It is incredible how fast it can open them, but they're not very intensive. Whereas Photoshop, Premiere, Sound Booth, After Effects, these are all the CS5s, they take quite a bit of, it takes quite a bit to open all of them. And I've also got this, I guess it would be a widget or something along those lines, on the dashboard. It's called iStat Nano. If you do have a Mac, I would suggest getting it. It will show you all the stats of your computer, everything that's going on. So you can see the RAM isn't being completely used, the CPU is barely going. Even though it is a quad core, it hyper-threads like an 8-core. I'm sure a lot of you know that. So it's basically like having an 8-core computer. Not to mention the operating system runs as efficient as it can, which helps speed things up even more. And there they are. All of them. As you can probably see that Photoshop wasn't brought up. That's because Photoshop, unlike on a Windows computer, it runs the whole, it doesn't look like it's software. It runs on the whole screen. And then whatever you're working on, say you want to open a picture, it just opens it right in the middle. It doesn't really have a viewing window. It's kind of weird. It's different to get used to if you come over from a Windows computer, but it's very easy to get used to. There's After Effects. Let's go ahead and close all these down. Sound booth. I really don't know what that. I guess that is photo or iPhoto. That's another thing that I didn't know at first. Even though you close your programs, I don't know why I'm showing you all this, I'm sure you all know. You right click, you have to quit all of them, otherwise they stay running in the background, which is good, because unless you quit at the top. But that's good because it runs like the iPhone's multitasking. So even if you close it, you don't have to wait for it to load. It's just right there. It just pops right back up as fast as the screen can react, I guess. Another thing, I have Thunderbolt ports plugged in, or I have one of them hooked up to this 40-inch, I believe it's 40-inch monitor. Which brings me to my next subject, how incredible the iMac screen is. Because it doesn't seem like it is that big of a deal, but you can have so many different things going at one time. Say you have you want to YouTube and you want to read something else. You can have them side by side, and the resolution is so fine that you can resize these, and you can still read them so easily. So you could have as many of these going as you'd like. You know, I've only got 2 there. You can fill the whole screen, and you can have, say, iTunes running over here, and you can see it all just fine. Alright, I gotta plug that monitor in. And it just goes ahead and refreshes the image, but it doesn't take long. The reason I don't keep that plugged in all the time is sometimes I don't use this monitor all the time, but if you leave it plugged in and you have this monitor off, it'll sometimes open stuff over onto the other screen when it's turned off. So you have to get up, turn it on, move everything over. But what I was going to show you is how much. This is a 27-inch screen. This is a 42. But if you move this and drag it straight over, watch the difference in the resolution. Look at, you can't, and if you make it the same size as it was, it's just, you can't really even read anything. It's a lot different. It's incredible. I didn't think, when I was reading the specs on this computer before I bought it, it has, I can't remember the exact resolution, don't burn me for it, but I didn't understand why that was necessary, and the first time I did that, I quickly realized that that's exactly why. So, if there are any questions or anything that you'd like me to run on this, I've seen there's Cinebench reviews out there and things like that, so I wasn't going to do anything along those lines. Oh, another thing, people are always complaining about, well, why would you buy a Mac? You know, not everything's compatible with a Mac operating system. Well, the only thing that I have come across, the only 2 programs that I can think of off the top of my head is WinRAR and AutoCAD. I went ahead and I put Windows 7 on this computer because it just seemed, you can buy a Windows-based computer and have Windows 7 and that's it, or you can buy something like, you can buy a Mac and you can put Windows 7 on it and have the best of both worlds. It only made sense to me. But that is my review. Like I said, if there is anything that you would like to see, or anything you'd like me to go back over, leave me a comment. and I will try and get to it, or I'll answer your question. Figured I'd go ahead and add this in here also. This is the Windows Experience Index. You can see that the highest score available for each of these different categories is 7.9. This iMac scores a 7.6 in processor, 7.6 in RAM, 7.6 in graphics, 7.6 in gaming graphics. Mind you, I've put Grand Theft Auto 4 on this computer and it ran great. I can't remember what the exact specs were. I had to restore the operating system and I lost it, and I haven't had time to put it back on yet. But it ran very well, very fast. The graphics were great, and this only has the 1 gig graphics card. As I mentioned before, there's an option to upgrade it to the 2 gig. If you are going to use this computer for gaming, I would recommend that, and I can't think of any. You should be able to run everything on full settings. I ran Grand Theft Auto 4, which I believe is a pretty intensive game, or a pretty graphics intensive game, and it ran it on almost full specs with just a single gig. The overall average, you can see, is low, and that is because it takes the lowest score that your computer gets. This is just because of the hard drive on mine. If you had a solid state drive, I'm sure this would be very high. It'd probably score 7.6 all the way around. Again, I only have 4 gigs of RAM. You can put something ridiculous in these. I don't remember off the top of my head. 16, I believe. So that's enough. Everybody always complains, yeah, don't buy a Mac, can't play games on it, whatever. Put Windows 7 on it. You can do whatever you want with this computer. You have everything. You can play any game, and they will always look great. I know that Macs don't have all the games, but like I said, put Windows 7 on it, and then you got them all. Nothing to worry about.